Hey y'all, and welcome to Love of Khalifa. I'm Khalifa, and this is chapter 3, Dear Future Self, Live, Life, and Learn. And in today's chapter, I have special guests, my sister Alima, my mother, and my friend Hope. And we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about our future plans for this new coming year, 2025, what we learned from this last year, living in our 20s, and other goals we set for the rest of our life, pretty much. So sit back and get your wine and watch. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Love of Khalifa. This is chapter 3. And in this chapter today, I have 3 guests with me today. You already know my sister, Alima. And then I have my bestie, Hope. This is my girl. And then, of course, Mommy Darius. Okay, that's the bad one, but this is my mother, my ace boom. But yes, so today I have my ladies with me because we are going into the end of the year. Today is actually December 31st. Don't know when this video is going to be out. But we're going into the new year. So I asked everybody today to write a letter to themselves so that, well, like their future selves in 2025. So then at the end of next year, we're going to read the letters and everything that we prayed for or everything that we manifested, whatever in this letter, we're going to hope that it came to pass. So I hope y'all going to be working hard this year and everything.
Hard work don't stop.
Hard work don't stop. So before we get started, I want to do a little cheers to all of us, y'all, because we're going into the new year, 2024, and it's 2025. And I just pray that all of our dreams come true, all of our ambition. I hope it doesn't stop. I hope that we keep the faith and we keep striving for our goals, and that everything that we started creating these last few years starts coming to pass. And I just wish success on all of y'all. And I love each and every one of y'all. So, cheers. Cheers.
Drink off.
I can tell y'all already got the interview. But anyway, so y'all, we about to do kind of like a little paint sip thing, get some talking. I have my mom here because all of us in our 20s. She's 23, I'm 23, she's 21, you know what I'm saying? We're a young woman, and my mom, she got 6 kids. So she has experience. She got a lot of experience. She was a young woman at one point. She getting older. She's still experiencing stuff, her experiencing things herself. So it was important for me to have her here so she can give us some input going into this new year, because as far as I know, like, I talk to everybody here separately. They might not talk to each other, but I talk to them. So I know that all of us are going into a new season, start something new in school, starting a new career, starting something different. So it was important for me to get some advice, get some prayer, whatever, going into this new year, because I'm really excited, but it don't help to have that extra push and that extra, hope going into the new year. So without further ado, y'all, let's get painting and let's have a conversation. Go ahead. This new year, I know I told y'all to write in the letters, but what's one word y'all would say is going to describe how y'all, well, like a motto, but only in one word, how y'all going into 2025? Because I would say for me, it's ambition. Like, I'm very ambitious this year. I got so many things that I didn't get to do this year, but I got a good amount of them down. So, my word is ambition. So we'll start with Luma and then we'll go this way.
I guess I would consider my, a restart, basically. Yeah, because going into, as I said, like the last video, I was a biology major, but I recently switched it to accounting.
Yeah.
So going into this new year and then going to accounting and I'm pursuing different things, it's really a restart for me. And then I'm going back to the things that I was ambitious about as a kid, like acting.
Yeah.
I'm going back into that. And I'm just really doing stuff that I've always wanted to do. So it really is more of a restart for me.
Amen to that. Ain't nothing wrong with a restart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's your word?
Mine would be evidence.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's just say evidence.
Because this year, I'm going to be doing a lot of, I'm going to call it like the training year for me, especially, being a part of the military, and with everything that I went through last year. This is going to be my year to reap everything that I'm going to be sowing, the good stuff,
Amen.
all the hard work to pay off. So it's going to be my year of evidence of seeing how much my hard work does pay off.
I love that. Mom?
I think the word for me this year would be limitless.
Okay.
Sometimes if you get older and you look at life and you try to put everything in a box and you try to figure out how everything's supposed to go. And, you unintentionally put yourself in a box and you go through different phases in life. And then you have to realize, though, that really everything is limitless. For some people, their ceiling becomes their floor if they allow it to be. For some people, their floor will always be their floor and they'll never go any higher as long as they continue to put themselves in a box. So we go on limitless all 2025.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really good.
So what's something that y'all will want to work on? We just said this before the camera started rolling. I want to work on being controlling. Because, and I know they all laughing because I have a... Listen, it's not that I want to be controlling. It's just like an urge that comes over me. Like, if things, not saying like, oh, it has to go my way, but I just have a thing where if I let other people take control, it's like, I was telling Hope the other day, when I let other people take control, I feel like they're gonna mess it up. But if something gets messed up and I'm involved, at least I can say that was on me. I know how to fix it because I was already in my head like, okay, if it goes this way or it goes that way, I'm ready for it. But when other people have the, working with other people and stuff, and when they have the direction of where it can go, it drives me insane because like, did you plan for it to go this way? Did you plan for it to go that way? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to step out more on faith because like I said, I trust God, I don't trust humans. But I'm trying to be able to step out more because then, I'll be able to collaborate, maybe be more creative, being able to trust other people's instincts because I'm not always right, so people say. But I wanna work on that because there's a lot of good people out here. So we'll see how that's gonna go. But that's what I'm really gonna work on. What y'all working on?
I'm gonna say consistency because between me dealing with like my mental health and knowing that there's stuff that like I should do, but it's hard to like force myself up to get up and do it. But I'll be doing better at the end of the year, so it's most definitely consistency.
That's good. For me, I would say out of my comfort zone. Yeah, especially with the fact that this year I want to take more leadership positions. I know we were talking about that in the car.
Yeah.
And being able to like connect with more people, like you were saying, network, meet new people, get out of my comfort zone, make new friends, because you never know what life can offer or who you can run into. So me staying in my little bubble is not really gonna, like I was saying, evidence is not really gonna help me pursue that as well either. So mine would be to get out of my comfort zone.
Yes, sister. What you working on, mommy?
I am working on being selfish.
Now hold on. No, go ahead. Because I understand. That's my mama, so I know why she said that. But go ahead, explain.
Yeah, because being a mom for so many years, I think I've put myself in a position where everybody's needs and wants and stuff that come before mine. I haven't been very good at setting boundaries and realizing that I still have a life too, that I'm still a woman at the end of the day, that I was a woman before anything else, and that it's not a thing. And I think people want to hear selfish, they think of it as a negative word. But if I'm not the best version of me, I can't be the best version for everyone else. So I can't be the best mother that I need to be. I can't be the best partner in a relationship. I can't be the best employee or business owner because I haven't taken time to be selfish so that I can have more self-care and do more for me so I can do all of the things that I want to do for other people. And that's, if I was to give a piece of advice to something that I wish I knew when I was a younger woman, was to really take the time to be more selfish, set more boundaries, not being afraid to say no, not being afraid to not, have to fit in somewhere or fit into somebody else's box or stereotype or whatever it is that they thought I should be. But really just living out loud and doing it my way, the way that I want to do it.
Absolutely.
I think you should tell that to my mom too. She needs to hear that.
I feel like all moms need to hear that at one point because, when you got kids, everybody says that your life is no longer your own. And I feel like once your kids become grown, it's hard to, go back to that knowledge. Like, okay, they grown, they got it, they gonna be good. But, you're a mom, so it'd be hard to do that. But speaking of afraid, when you mentioned afraid, I ain't gonna lie. I be having a lot of fears. Not, of course, I'm hopeful for next year, but I do also got my fears just because, like I said, I'm stepping out and being different, like, with the whole trusted people and everything. I had horrible trust issues. Not because, like, somebody hurt me, but like I said, giving that up, the unknown scares me just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you got hopes and stuff for, like, the year to go a certain way. And then when it doesn't, you be like, okay, like, what now? But I don't know. I feel like that's just, I shouldn't be scared, and I should be like, I got faith and everything. And I got faith, but I also have to admit, I ain't scared to never admit that I'm scared of something.
Right, because we're human. I mean, it's a part of your human experience. It's a part of human emotions. Because, I mean, that means you will have no emotions if you just do something and you're not nervous or you're not scared. That also means that you don't really care about what it is that you're doing either.
Oh, that's true. Like, I put a lot of emotion and stuff behind whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing. When you're the type of person that, like, whatever you do, you put all your passion into it, like your all. That's the hard part.
But I guess one thing that helps to decrease the amount of fear is if you understand, and I know it might sound cliche, but there really is no such thing as loss. There's only lessons. When people say I'm taking an L, well, if you take it properly, it's a lesson because I don't know if you've ever heard the term fail forward. And the faster that you fail, the sooner that you'll reach your goal. A lot of people, like when they're in sales, they have competitions to get as many no's because the more no's you get, the closer you get to your yes. So some of the things to help get rid of that fear is like, I'm not going to lose. The only thing, if it doesn't go the way that I think that it should go, what I'm actually learning is a way not to do it. I'm going to learn the way to do it, and then I'm going to just pivot. And, sometimes we get a vision and we're like, well, if it doesn't work this way, then that's it. That's all, and I can't do it again. I can't recoup. But if I go over my life and I look at the many times that I failed from even, getting here to where we are in Houston, I would have never seen myself doing all the things that we did to be able to get here. But if I would have listened to some people and who told me that I couldn't because I was a single mom and I got divorced and I have this many children and all of these different things that look like failures in other people's eyes, I would not be where I am right now. So I've learned to not be afraid of not achieving or not being successful. But if anything you want to fear is the not knowing what could have been if you didn't take the step to try. That should be something to be afraid of.
Like living a life with like no regrets at the end of it all. And I don't like something that you something that you just spoke on was the fact that a lot of people was doubting you because, your age and stuff like that. And I feel like that's something that we, as in our 20s, we go through. But something that I also do try to give as an advice to people is that those who doubt you or those who think that you're going to fail are usually those who are afraid to take the leap that you're taking, because they're scared of doing it. And then they see you doing it. They feel like they're going to fail. So they somehow project that on you, and they're gonna be like, you're gonna fail too, not knowing that you can be the one that come out as the success story,
Right. That makes me a little teary-eyed just because a lot of people don't know how many people doubted me. Like a lot of people that are close to me. And I remember when I wrote a self-help book, by the way, called Living and Learning by Khalifa Keela. And when that book came out, somebody told me that it was never gonna sell. It did sell, but they told me that it was never gonna sell this, that, and the third. And it did put a lot of doubt in my mind. That was like 3 years ago. So I'm always kind of skeptical when I'm doing something. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Is everything going to be okay? And I feel like I'm always taking big leaps, scared or not, but I still always got that fear in the back of my mind. So I feel like sometimes that blocks me from how far I could go because in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I don't want this to fail. Like, I want to succeed. I'm a big person. Like, I want to succeed and stuff. It's not just about money, but I want to be able to, anything I put my mind to, I want to make sure that I complete it and that, what I'm saying, I'm getting finished. I don't want to be somebody who always starts something and then never finish it because that fear was in the back of my mind.
Right.
But it happens so often, and I always just got to tell myself, count to 3 and just jump and just do it. Whether I'm pressing the email, asking for something, or asking somebody to work with me, or doing whatever, that's just like what I do now. But sorry, go ahead.
Because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? If you do it and if it doesn't kill you,
Makes you strong.
and if it does, that means
It was my time to go.
But literally, it really is that simple, because I think a lot of people forget life is meant to be lived and experienced. Life isn't, okay, every day I'm paying my bills and I have a place to live, and I go to work and my rent is paid and I have food. That's not what life is. Life is supposed to be an experience. I don't know if y'all remember at Uncle Babe's funeral, and I talked about the story that the most important dates, when you look on a tombstone, you have the year someone was born and then the date that they died. But the most important thing on that tombstone is the dash in between those two dates. What do you do with your dash? How do you live your life? And especially right now in the time where you all are in, where the world really has no boundaries whatsoever. You can get on your phone and be in a whole nother country in a matter of seconds. You can fly anywhere. You can travel anywhere. And the world really is, again, an old term, it's your oyster. It's open up to you, but you're the one who sets the limits on what you're able to do. You should wake up every day thinking of 10 years from now, what kind of story that I want to tell. Even this letter, when you think about the letter that we wrote to ourselves, what we want it to look like at the end of next year. How full do you want to make your bag? You should want to have some juicy stories. Like, I can't wait till I'm 90. My grandchildren, y'all probably ain't going to want me to tell them everything I'm going to tell them, but I'm going to have some good stories to tell.
My children will be at home. They not going to listen.
Yeah, they going to want to hear.
If they know the stories that I know, then they don't need to be listening to that at all. Absolutely.
Like, said G Money.
Bro, you ever seen The Office when they just look at the camera? Or on Abbott Elementary, just... No, like we good, but
I want to hear G Money stories, but seriously, like that's how you should think of everything. Be like, I need to try this because I need to know the what if. Maybe it wasn't for me, but I need to have something to put in my story. You are the author of your book. Yeah. And if you don't like the chapter, put a period and turn the page. It's really, and it sounds simple because really it is that simple. But we make it so difficult because we have all these expectations that other people put on us. And like you said, they're living our lives through their eyes because they're too afraid to get out of their bubbles, and they start projecting their fears on you. But it's kind of like, hey, if you don't get out of here with that, at the end of the day, I have to live with my consequences, my do's and my don'ts. You don't have to. So, kick rock.
That's actually why I prefer to be off of social media right now, especially in my little young phase, especially during my restart, is because there's so many people online that like to live vicariously through people. So then when it's like, oh, well, why are you doing this? You need to be doing da-da-da-da-da. Whole time, you're like in the same predicament, but you choose not to handle that yourself. You're in somebody else's business. So, and that's what I was going to say when Hope was saying what she was saying. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Because during Thanksgiving, when we was having that discussion about that new family project, I was like, oh, now that makes sense that this person is casting doubt over here.
Yeah.
Because they're too afraid to go after anything themselves. And it's like, oh, well, there's competition and you're never going to get there.
But see, that kind of hurts my feelings, like when the people closest to you don't believe in you, because not saying that you still can't do it, but it do make it a little overwhelming and a little harder, because it's like, why don't you believe in me? Like, is you seeing, because they say somebody sees you before you see you. So it's like, are you seeing something on me that I don't see? Like, am I not as ambitious and I'm not as smart as I think I am? Like, is something wrong with me for real? Like, that's what I be thinking. That's why I be having to, like, I'm not on social media either now, and I really don't talk to a lot of people, like, except the people in this room and a couple ones outside of it. I don't really talk to nobody because it's like, I can't have that. And I'm a person, a lot of stuff gets to me, honestly. Like, a lot of subconsciously, a lot of stuff gets to me. Like, I put on this brave face. I can have a poker face. You saying all of this, and I look like I'm not listening. But especially, like I said, when it's the people closest to you that you grew up with or that, you really care about, when they say stuff like that or they don't believe in your dream, it's like, damn, like, okay.
But see, that's when I think it's time to reevaluate. Because it's like,
yeah, you've been with this person, like you've been close to this person for so and so long, but like when y'all start going on different paths, it's like, okay, now you finna see where people's heads are and who really finna be there when you get to the top.
You see who sees them more.
Yeah. And it's like, even if it is like family members or like your best friend, it's like, now I'm gonna have to push you to the side because you casting all this doubt in my mind, and I need somebody that's gonna help me push myself forward when I'm doubting myself.
And forget that side. I'm taking a bridge. I'm taking you to that bridge, and that's where you're going off because I don't got time for that.
I'm not
Especially
gonna
in this
lie, y'all.
season.
One thing I did learn, and this was like 2-3 years ago, one thing I learned, somebody had told me, they was like, when it comes to like family and people that are close to us supporting us, they're gonna be the main ones that's probably going to doubt us. Because the thing is, like, our family, you know, we grow up with them, so they always gonna see us in a certain way. No matter how much you grow or how much you change, your family is bound to see you as that little girl or who you once were, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like hard for them to switch that view or see you in a different way, even if you're showing them that. So it's not the fact that they don't wanna support you or they're not supporting you. Sometimes it's just the fact that they don't see that you've grown or that you're not a different person, you know?
Yes, but can we talk about that real quick? Because I said the other day, I think I was with you, Lima. I said that I don't, or maybe I don't know who I was with. I was talking to somebody. Anyways, I was like, I don't feel like people allow you to grow. Like, they always hold you. Like, you come around 2 years later and they're still holding you to something you did before, or they're not allowing you to grow. Especially when you're at a young age. I feel like as young women, like who I was at 19 is not who I am at 23, and damn sure will not be who I am. Excuse me, mama. Won't be who I am at 25, 26. So the fact that you're still holding me to that standard or how I used to act or whatever, people grow, especially women. We grow like every week, change every week. So I don't like when people hold me to a same standard of something I used to be in the past.
Right. That's that weird transition into your 20s. It's like where people still view you as like a kid.
Yeah.
And then it's like you yourself are still trying to transition from like that teenage mindset into like adulthood a little bit more.
Right.
Because now it was like, oh, now my parents have told me everything to do, and now I got to figure it out on my own. It's just a weird transition, especially with family. Then you come back around family after you've gone through all these changes, and now they still treating you like you still a child. It's just...
And what I learned out in the real world without y'all is not what y'all taught me. So it's like I'm reteaching myself.
Right.
So I don't know.
Completely different person.
But that's why I also said that's why you have to set in your mind to become selfish. Not in a way where you're not willing to help other people or whatever, but you really have to have blinders on. If you feel in your heart, your soul, that this is the path that you should take, then that's what you should do. And it could be kind of weird coming from a mother, because as a parent, we never want to see our children hurt. We never want to see our children getting into a predicament where it looks like it's going to cause them heartache. So we'll tell you something from an experience that we had. However, we have to be willing to let you forge your own path, because going to a little bit of the spiritual side, we all come here for a reason and a purpose. And we are shaped out of our experiences. If we never let our children walk because we didn't want them to fall, then it would be a whole bunch of grown people just laying around. But at some point, you also have to understand that the plan that God has for you in your life is going to take you to certain places that's going to cause you to bump your head, because you learned through your bruises and your scars. You have to be the phoenix that rises from the ashes, but if you never get in the fire, how will that happen? So even if somebody is telling you, it could be somebody that you trust their opinion. It could be somebody that you look up to. But if you go into your meditation and you go into your closet and you pray about it, and you know for some reason that this is the path that you're supposed to take, even if it seems like it's totally against the grain, go on that path, because you never know what it is that God has for you on the other side of that, that's going to take you to your destination as you grow in life. And you need that experience to be able to do what it is that you're here for as a purpose. So learn how to trust your own gut. Learn how to develop your own intuition. Learn how to develop a strong spiritual base, even at a young age, because that faith is not a thing that just everybody has. It's a very, very spiritual thing. It's not a cliche, because faith is a verb. It's not a noun. And there'll be times when you have to really, like when we came here to Texas, I remember me and my dad, you don't know the story, they know the story, but the day right before we left, I was so scared. My stomach was hurting. I wanted to throw up. We literally had 2-story, 5-bedroom house that we condensed to 10 boxes and moved to here to Texas. And that was all we had. We left everything behind because I knew there was something in my gut that was drawing me here and pulling me here, but I didn't know how I was going to make it, especially with 6 children and a single mom. Had never been to Texas before, except for twice before we moved here. And even coming here, we ended up homeless, but on the way back from dropping them off to their grandparents, I remember I was having a conversation with God driving from Oklahoma, and I was crying. And I was like, God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know anybody here. The one person that I knew kicked us out. I don't know anybody here. But what I do know is that my faith is strong enough to believe that you brought me here for a reason, and I'm going to stay. So right now, it's me and you. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And had I gave up, because people were like, well, just come back, you can start over again. But I wouldn't do that because I wanted a better life for myself and I wanted a better life for my kids. And I believed that I was here in Houston. And all those people that said we couldn't do it,
kiss our no.
No, to a degree. But that's when you really have to become selfish when it comes to what you believe is right for you, and never let anybody tell you anything different. And if it's not right, pick up, regroup, and do something else. There's left, right, up, down, back, front, there's always another GPS that tell you a different direction to go.
But let me be honest with you, Mom, because me and my mom working on something right now. I got a lot of stuff going on this next year. Mm-hmm. But even the business plan that I brought up or whatever, in a way, I'm scared to do it because eventually I want to be able to do it on my own. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want you and my dad to be there in the beginning. But this is something eventually I want to turn into something on my own. Am I nervous about it? Yes. But at the same time, I know I'm a person that can learn anything. But I don't know, watching you growing up and everything, I just feel like this is a leap that I could take. I'm like, my mom pretty much just put me on game to everything. So like, I'm not really scared. And I know if it fails, I don't believe it's gonna fail, but whatever, even if it's some speed bumps and stuff like that, honestly, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for it. Like, it is what it is, but this is one of them things, like, I'm ready to take a leap of faith on, and I'm ready to see what it do for real.
And that's something you can change your vocabulary. Again, it's not failure, but if I have to pivot, then
that's why I said speed bump. That's why I was changing it.
Speed a lot. I've seen that a lot.
Y'all, if y'all don't watch Friends, y'all don't know what pivot means. Go ahead.
But change direction always and be flexible.
True.
Like every single day, life causes you to be flexible. It really does. Because you'll get up, you'll be like, before you go to bed, when I get tomorrow, I'm going to do this. You wake up, the car might not start. Mm-hmm. Or the lights might be out. Or it might be a store.
Or you get keys, get locked in your car, and you got to call somebody out there while you're in the grocery store.
Hoping that it don't rain.
If y'all didn't catch on, that literally just happened to me. And me and my sister out there cracking jokes. My mom looking at us like, but yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it is what it is. I think the thing that makes me not scared, I know there's always a solution. Like, nothing is ever 100% like said and done. It's always a solution. Things can always change. I think that's part of my faith. I just always got that in my head. Nothing stays the same. Things change. You adapt. Things adapt around you.
And that's just a part of growth, though.
Absolutely.
Like, that's a part of life. Life, to me, I've been learning that life is all a part of just perception and growth. When you allow yourself to grow, that means you're allowing yourself to be more flexible to what life has to offer.
Yeah.
And then when you allow yourself to change your perception, some people, what you're going through, somebody may look at it and be like, ooh, that's horrible. Ooh, that's bad. But you on the other end is like, oh no, this is great. This is what's going to cause me to become a better person or see things differently, you know? It's just a part of like how you see things and how you allow yourself. Because my pastor, he had said this like on Sunday. He was like, life is like a river. You have to be flexible. So in order to get to the end of that river, because you know how it changes and the tide switches and stuff like that. If you stay trying to move forward and you don't allow yourself to bend, you're going to end up, leading yourself to destruction rather than eventually flowing with the river to get to your destination.
Bro, that's crazy. She talking about a river. Y'all see how my thing look like a river? I ain't even do that on purpose. Cock that. But yeah, bro, this is a good conversation. But bro, I totally get that because last year I'll be telling people about this all the time. I went through a lot last year and I didn't know where my life was going at that point. I literally felt like it was over with. And I was like, okay, well, if this the end, it's going to be the end. And things turned around. I don't know how, but I was ready. I was like, it is what it is at this point. But I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad I was like, you not weak like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't never been weak like this. We're not going to let this little situation, this not having a job, none of that. We ain't going to let that, get to you. And now I'm still sitting here and I'm still keeping pushing. Everything not settled in, the sand, the dirt. What they be saying? The grass? They know what I'm talking about. Dust. What is it? Yeah, the dust is not settled yet. Oh, okay. So therefore, I said the grass. The dust is not settled yet. So therefore, I'm still glad that, it's a lot of growing I get to do, a lot of exploring. I'm not scared to do that. And I'm excited, and I'm excited for the people that's in my journey because besides the lovely ladies sitting at this table, I still got a village and stuff and they're doing things and they encourage me behind the scenes. I'm encouraging them as well. So I'm excited that everybody is going into this new year looking at it positivity and ready to do some different things. Because had it not been for these people that I currently have in my village, I don't think I would be as ambitious as I am right now and ready to take these big leaps. So I appreciate all of them. Even the ones that's gonna watch this, I appreciate all of y'all. I love y'all. I don't think I'm impatient, but sometimes I do not be wanting to wait around for that other shoe to drop. Like, let me stay around and see if you leveling up or if you're being in a healthy friendship or I think I waited around too long at points and it bit me in my butt. So now I'm like, yeah, I can't wait around for that no more. So now at the first sight of a red flag, I'm like, yeah, I'm gone, whether it's a friendship or anything. I just feel like I've been too patient in the past and now I'm at the point where I'm not going to be patient, especially when I see the same things happening with other people. And I understand everybody grows, but I'm just not in a position where I'm going to sit there and guess if you're growing or you just telling me what I want to hear. But go ahead, my bad.
Oh no, I was just about to say, it's just hard to try not to be like too quick to jump. Because I don't want that. I don't want to be around people that are too, like, unstable. I mean, we all a little bit, but just to the point where you trying to reach down and then bring them up and then you bringing yourself down. Like,
saving a drowning person, you gonna drown too.
I was just talking to you about that. Remember?
Yeah.
I had told her that I had to let a friend of mine, an ex-friend of mine go because me and her, we had been friends for like since elementary, middle school. And like, every time I would always tell her, hey, I need you to believe in yourself like you believe in me. I'm constantly pouring into her, telling her, hey, you could do this, you could be that. And she would be like, yeah. But then she wouldn't take the advice or she wouldn't, go ahead and take that leap of faith. And eventually started making me feel like, dang, like I felt like I had a baby on my hip because I'm trying to move forward, but me trying to move forward is like you're pulling me back at the same time because it's like I always got to go back and pull you back up. And sometimes that can get very draining and very, tiring, and it could start making you start to question and doubt yourself. Yes. And it's not you, but it's the other person. But you don't want to leave that person or make it seem like, oh, I'm just throwing you to the wayside because I'm onto bigger and better things now. But it's also like I have to kind of let you go too. So it's like it's a. That's
why I feel like we kind of all in the same boat. Like, I don't know if it's personality-wise. Like, I feel like my mom was a very forgiving person and stuff like that. And, like, she always wanted to teach people. And she a person that, like, come with me. Like, let me show you the game or whatever. But I feel like...
That's who I'm...
At this point... Exactly. But I feel like at this point, when you've been through... This generation is so different. Like, the loyalty and stuff like that. And I don't want to call it the word I want to say. Let me think of a healthier way to say. I'm going to say the coattail ragging because I was going to say another word, but people being on your coattail where everybody, the young kids saying clout and stuff like that. It just feel like this generation not as loyal and don't have as much empathy and stuff like that. So it's hard to sit there and want to sit there and watch people grow and take your time with them and stuff when it's just easier. Like, I'm not going to go through that. Cut off.
I feel like some people take advantage of it.
They do, and that's what I'm saying. And then you recognize now, especially, I think I've been through a lot of people taking advantage. So it's like, now I recognize it easier. And it's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Go that way with it. So it's just, that's why I agree in some points, but I just don't know.
Again, some of it's experience. And some of it comes with life. Like, I've got couple decades on you. So I've seen, I wasn't always, to a degree I was, it can seem like I was. And then again, life experiences, it molds and shapes you some types of way. But as you get older and you start having more life experiences and you go through things with people, like there's some people that I cut off a lot faster than other people. Like I might cut off a co-worker faster than I cut off a relative. Or somebody that I'm a friend with, I might cut them off faster than I would my child. Because it also depends on the level of relationship when it comes to how expendable they are or how many tries you're willing to give. And it also does have to do with your personality. Like I am that because I'm a spiritual healer and because I'm a mentor and I'm a coach and all this kind of thing. Like if I cut off everybody that gave me a red flag, I wouldn't have no kids.
Mom, I ain't gonna lie to you.
But,
I think because you like that, I'm like this. Like where you,
Right, I feel like we're the opposites for real. Like
as we watch you, like I guess deal with the red flags of people. It's kind of like
because being a Lima is so quick to tell my mom, cut them off. What is we still talking about? Like, I don't understand. And she's more like, let me test the water. I'm like, I'm not gonna see if it's lukewarm. It look hot. I'm gone.
still look good.
I really do.
I do.
Deeper people.
I don't know. I feel like once you've been disappointed too many times, I'm not in the mood. Don't worry. Like
Jesus.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like in the younger you be fed up and stuff, and then you get. Did you say you like Jesus?
You kind of just get more impatient because you still searching for stability.
I ain't Jesus though, so therefore you're gone, and I'm not gonna sit here and play.
Love you, Bookie. Bye.
Yeah, with love, like bounce. I'm not gonna sit here and do all of that.
But I
Like,
think it's because you're just so desperate to find stability.
You Peter.
Peter,
You to pull out a sword.
You the
reach
gangster.
out my book, y'all know. I was just talking about that. I had a dream I was a sniper. Now, what that means, me and God can talk about it later. But what you think that means?
Mm-hmm.
What you saying?
Because so
Wait, what were you saying?
transparency. Because you have a
Go ahead, be transparent. This is
because
always
you have a thing of control. So everything. So you're not. That's why it's cool. You're easy to cut someone off because you can't control their outcome or you can't predict it. You want them out of there because it messes with your being able to predict what's gonna happen next. So it's kind of like you kind of like, no, I'm not gonna do because I don't know what you're gonna do next. You're gonna mess with what I have planned in my head, and I don't got time to try to revise my plans. So you gotta go.
Because I can predict somebody move, and if I can't, it's gonna be a problem.
So snipers hit long range. They don't let you get close. So it's like you like, oh, so I told you to go right and you flinched a little bit to the left. Oh, you out of here because you might go left. And that's your way of protecting yourself because you want to control the situation. And I'm here to tell you, you have to get that under control.
I just said I was gonna work on it this year.
The reason I'm saying is because it will cause you a lot of heartache because at some point in life you have to be willing to go with the unknown. You have to be willing to be wild and not control the situation. Trust me.
You told me this the other
used
day.
to be like that. I was what you call a left brain thinker, an analytical person.
I am. I'm very.
B, C, D, E. All of that. And
have to be lined up.
It has to. It gotta make sense.
You'll end up stressed out. You'll end up with high blood pressure. You'll end up with also your body will start to reject you because
but we're not gonna act like I haven't worked, like it hasn't gotten better. Like I feel like you saying it hasn't gotten better. But it's a thing that's like deep with this. So I'm still working on it, but if it just really it has to make sense to me. I don't know. It'd be hard for me to go with the flow sometimes because it's like, how did this make? That's why I like having people that are free flowing around me because they kind of push me out of my, my zone.
You're analytical, which makes you a good boss or makes you a good CEO because it has to make sense. Now, if you were too creative where you just start throwing caution to the wind, then that would be a lot of that would be even worse. But it's just about finding that delicate balance when you're willing to be creative and just throw paint against the wall to see what comes out versus you have to have your rule around and it's got to be this angle and that angle and this angle and that angle. It's just about finding the balance. But being the way you are is what makes you have the boss personality, which also helps you get things done because you like, hey, it's A, B, C, D, E, and you can outline it and check it out. So it's not bad. Not at all.
I'm trying to find a balance. I definitely am trying to find a balance. It just be hard because I've been the boss since I was 12. So,
oh no,
wait, what?
I'm just joking.
Bro, that is. I'm like, what happened to? Well, see, what had happened was, but guess who won't be back? They sitting on my left side.
Thank you.
And if you control it, we finna be up out of here. Anyways, I want to thank y'all so much for coming back to chapter 3 of Love Alifa. And I want to thank my sister for joining my video. I was gonna start over here, but
no, because why was you silent like that?
Because I was gonna thank them, but they over here talking about me. Anyways, also thank my bestie Hope and also my mom. So after this time next year, we will be back. Hopefully, everybody that I don't cut off will be back to read these letters, and we're gonna pray everything come true in these letters. But other than that, thank y'all so much for joining, and we'll see y'all in chapter 4. Bye. Now,
so funny.
I don't know.
I just don't want you to bust nobody out.
Oh, girl,